Hey everybody, Steve here in Palm Springs. The other day I was walking around downtown and I made a video about running into my double at urgent care. It was early morning, the sun hadn't even come up yet, it was just starting to come up. It was about 7:30 in the morning. I just got out of bed maybe a half hour before, but someone left a comment on that video saying, "You don't look well, Steve." Now, this is a subscriber who's left comments before. They've always been very nice comments. So I don't think this was somebody trying to troll me or upset me or just say that I look bad or whatever. I don't think they were trying to be mean. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I think most people would probably take that as a rude comment, but I didn't take it that way. Especially because after I got home, after I filmed everything and I got home and I started editing the video, I thought, oh my God, I look horrible in this video. The lighting was horrible, I looked horrible. It's November and my allergies are always the worst in November. My eyes get puffy and red and just always look my worst in November and December especially. And what I've noticed over the years is that when I'm filming, lighting makes such a huge difference in the way you look, as well as camera angles too. So when I was editing, I thought, wow, I do look like death warmed over. I had just woke up, my allergies were making my eyes all puffy, and I was walking, for half of the video, I was walking in the shade. And if any of you have done any filming on your iPhones or anywhere, or on any camera, then you probably have also noticed that if you film yourself or anyone else, people, or pretty much anything, before the sun has come up, that particular light is very blue. And it casts a blue light on you and makes you look kind of sickly. And it's kind of the worst possible lighting to film in. Most people would try to avoid that, but I wasn't trying to make myself look good. I was just walking. I wanted to be in the shade. I always want to be in the shade, even though the sun hadn't come up yet. I still wanted to be on the shady side for when it did come up. And yeah, I looked pretty bad in the video when I was editing, but I don't do these videos to win a beauty contest or to impress anybody. I'm in my 70s. I mean, how good could I possibly look? And so I think that's actually one of the perks, one of the benefits of being old, is that, at least for me, I don't care anymore what I look like. I mean, not completely. I mean, I think most of us want to look our best, whatever that is. I mean, we don't want to look the best we can, but I'm not going to put a lot of effort into it. When you're filming yourself, there's all kinds of things that can make you look bad. And a lot of people, I think if they're younger and they're filming themselves, they might redo the video if they looked at it later and saw how bad they look. But you know, that's one of the nice things about being old is I don't really care that much anymore what people think I look like or how I look. And so I was starting to edit and I realized, yeah, this footage looks horrible. I look horrible in almost every frame. Oh, and the other thing is, I realized I just started using this camera a while back, and someone else asked me, recently in a video, they said, your video is so crisp and clear, can I ask what camera you're using? Well, it was this camera. This is called the DJI Action 5. I think it was Osmo Action 5. I just got this a few months ago, and I bought it so that I could use it when I'm out walking. I actually use 3 different cameras for filming. I use the one that I'm filming myself right now with. In fact, let me just zoom in right now and show you myself filming myself with my Sony ZV-1 camera. So I thought I'd explain to you why I film with 3 different cameras. None of them are perfect, unfortunately. I love my Sony ZV-1. If it's on a tripod, I'm in the house, it's quiet, there's not a lot of background noise. It's fantastic. The quality is very good. I usually look pretty good. I just have natural lighting. I just have the window blinds open. This is just natural light. And the quality of the video is very good, but I use it mostly because of the audio. I don't need a microphone. It's always very crisp and clear. Everything sounds great. It has the best microphone of all of my cameras. So when I really want a good microphone, in fact, if 5 or 10 people were here in the room and each person was talking individually, nobody would need a microphone. It would pick up everyone's voice crystal clear. It's fantastic, but it's not good for walking. It has no stabilization, no built-in stabilization. So if I'm walking with that, with my Sony ZV-1, it's going to be bouncing all over the place. You're not going to be able to watch it. It's horrible unless you attach it to a gimbal. Well, gimbals are very expensive. They're very cumbersome. They're very big. They're just, you know, one extra thing that you need to do. So I don't use gimbals. The iPhone has it's like a gimbal built in. It has fantastic stabilization. And so does this DJI Action 5. I mean, that's what it's for. It's an action camera. So it has sort of a gimbal built in. So I use the Sony ZV-1 for filming indoors. So anytime you see me sitting around the house, on the backyard, whatever, I'm probably using the Sony ZV-1. Even if I'm sitting in my car just talking and holding it on my selfie stick, it's usually my Sony ZV-1. And the reason is because the microphone is just fantastic and the video quality is fantastic as well, as long as I'm not moving. But the other day on my walk, I was using this. I mean, look how tiny this is. I can just stick it in my pocket when I'm not using it. It's fantastic, but it's very wide angle, and I'm usually a lot smaller in the picture, but it also, even though it does have a pretty good, well, in fact, I think the resolution is supposed to be better than my Sony and better than my iPhone, but for me, I think maybe it's the lighting that's much, much worse. So if you're in the sunlight and the lighting is good, this looks really good. But if you're in really low light and shadows, this looks horrible. But to be fair, in that early morning light, blue light in the shade, every camera you're gonna look bad being filmed with pretty much every camera. But I was using this because this also has a built-in microphone that's very good, but I have a little DJI mini mic that you may have seen just attached to my shirts. And it automatically syncs with this. They're made by the same company, and it's really easy to sync them, and it does pick up pretty well. But the thing I really like is that when you're recording, not only does it pick up the recording from your mic, but it also picks up the recording from the mic in your camera, so you get two soundtracks. So if one of them, let's say there's a lot of wind on this one, or I'm looking over in this direction or something and it doesn't quite pick it up, you know, I'm filming like this, it might pick up better from here. So I've got two microphone tracks that I can choose from if one's not working. So it's like having a backup, which is really nice. And this I can bounce around, and you'll be watching me walking and talking, and you'll never notice any of the bounce. It's very, very smooth. So that's why I use this. I can also just be kind of a fly on the wall. People don't notice it as much. Where some of the bigger cameras, they're just much more noticeable. And you know, when you're out filming, it can be very helpful just to sort of blend in and not stand out too much. People get very self-conscious if they see you filming, but if you're just walking with one of these, they hardly even notice. And this is about the same size as the GoPro cameras. Now, I have a GoPro camera. They're about the same size. My GoPro was from maybe 5 years ago or so. The audio was horrible. The microphone was horrible. I could never use it for filming because I didn't have a microphone that worked with it. The microphone that it came with didn't work very well. And the lighting was just not very good. It just didn't work for me, so I never used it. Where this is much better. I really like this a lot. But of all my cameras, this one makes me look the worst. So if I'm out walking, I'm not going to look so good. Unless, you know, the lighting is really good, and then, you know, I'll probably look fine. But my other cameras are much better as far as if I want to look good. But this works for the microphone and for the walking without the jiggling, so I'll still use this because I don't really care that much what I look like when I'm out filming. If I could, I would only film with my iPhone. I love it, the quality's fantastic, but the problem I have with my iPhone is that the microphone is horrible. Every iPhone I've ever had, unless you just happen to be speaking in the right direction toward the microphone, whoever you're filming, it's really hit or miss. You never know how the audio is going to come out. And so it's always a big surprise, and usually not a good surprise. But in a pinch, or if I'm just happen to be out filming and something spontaneous happens, I might talk, or somebody else might talk, and sometimes it comes out okay, the audio, sometimes not so much. The video always comes out great. This is my favorite camera to use, but it also has a battery that only lasts maybe an hour or two, where this one, the other benefit of having this one, is that there's a replaceable battery. If the first battery dies, you take it out and you put in another one. And I have 3 that are fully charged. They last, 2, 3, 4 hours when I'm out filming. So this can last me all day. Where this, maybe an hour or 2, depending on how much I'm filming. And if I'm using it for other things, like directions to get where I'm going, or if somebody calls me or texting, or I'm listening to music or whatever. So this does not last very long. And there's no replacement battery. You just have to plug it in and charge it. And it can take an hour to charge. And if you're out filming, that's not something that works. Now I do have a separate backup battery that's fully charged that I bring with me, but that I could use. I can plug this in, but then I've got the big long cord. I've got the other battery in my pocket, and I can be filming with it, but then I've got the cord, and I'm walking around, and the cord gets snagged on something or somebody, and it pulls the camera out, or it pulls the battery out. So it's just a real hassle to do that. Now, if I'm driving, let's say I film somewhere and then I've got an hour drive somewhere, I can plug it into my car and charge it in between filming. But if I'm just filming the entire day, this just doesn't work for lots of different reasons, but mostly, well, the battery and the horrible microphone that it comes with. Now, over the years, I've seen lots of YouTubers, vloggers film with cell phones. And quite often their audio is fantastic, so I'll leave a comment asking them which cell phone they're using, and invariably, 9 times out of 10, they're not using the iPhone. They're using Galaxy, what is it, Samsung Galaxy? And apparently that one has a much better microphone because their microphones, they all sound like they've got an external microphone attached and they're just talking into their phone. But I don't want to buy another $1,000 cell phone. And the prices have gone up a lot. They used to be, I think, quite a bit cheaper than the iPhone, but then I think they pretty much caught up and now they're about the same price. So I don't want one more phone to have to deal with, to take with me to film. It was just easier and a lot cheaper. In fact, I thought about getting a Samsung Galaxy when I got this, but this was like $300, I think, $350, and the Galaxy was like around $1,000. So I thought, this is probably going to work just as well or better, and I'm glad I went with this. If I lose it, if it gets stolen, if I drop it and break it or whatever, it's just $350 rather than $1,000, and this is much easier to hold on to than a cell phone. So getting back to how bad I looked on that video, maybe the reason I wasn't that upset about the comment is because most people leave comments saying just the opposite. They say, wow, you sure don't look 71 years old. I never would have thought you were 71 years old. Now, I think a lot of people are just being nice, and that's nice. I appreciate that. It's always fun, to hear that you look better than you think you look, or not as old as you look. I mean, not that I care that much, but it's still nice. We're all kind of vain, a little bit at least. And so that's a comment I get most of the time. And my response is always, it's just the right camera angle and the right lighting, because that really is the truth. If you ever meet me in person, you're probably going to be surprised. You're going to say, wow, you look a lot older than you do in your videos. And so you look more like that video that guy told you how old you looked or how sick you looked. And so, yeah, it's just, the magic of lighting and camera angles really for the most part. So I think the guy who said, you don't look well, Steve, I think maybe, or at least I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, I think maybe he was kind of just giving me a little heads up, a little warning, like maybe you need to go see your doctor, maybe you've got some health issue that you're not aware of, and it's very possible. Maybe I have some issue that I'm not even aware of, and I have mentioned that also, I think, in other videos, or I've talked to people about it. I notice when I'm filming myself, quite often I'll catch things that I never would see in real life. It's really weird because sometimes I'll be filming and I'll think I'm saying something, and then when I'm editing, I realize I said something totally different, or sometimes I'll just use the wrong word, and I think I said the right word, but then I see later in the editing that I said the wrong word, or sometimes I'll just forget things, and I notice it, where I didn't notice it while I was filming, but I noticed it in the editing. It's like, wow, how did I forget that? Or why did I say that instead of that? And so you do catch things on camera that you don't even realize you're saying or doing in real life. So in a lot of ways, cameras are really good as you're getting older. I've told friends and family, I said, if I ever start really getting dementia or I start really getting a bad memory, I think I'm going to notice it because of making these videos, because when I start playing them back to edit them, I'm going to really realize just how much I'm forgetting, or if I'm saying really weird things, then maybe I wouldn't notice. But when you watch it back, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's kind of scary. So far, nothing major, nothing out of the ordinary that I think most of us do when we're in our 70s, or say in our 70s, but there are things that I have noticed. So I have definitely gotten off track from what I originally started to share with you in this video. So anyway, just wanted to share that comment with you. Got me thinking about comments, how they can sometimes be really mean, sometimes or unintentionally mean or rude, but also kind of helpful. I mean, what if I really was unwell and this comment got me to go to the doctor and I found something wrong with me? I mean, that could be really a good thing. And I have been wanting to share with you guys about the lighting and the angles of the lighting because, like I say, so many of you have commented how young I look for being in my 70s. And again, I think it's just most of you being nice. And the rest of you not realizing that I just have really good lighting and really good camera angles. So anyway, now you know my secret. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you all in the next video.